is Kia Ellis. Kia is a senior curriculum specialist from mcgraw-hill, and she has extensive experience with teaching, coaching, and supporting direct instruction classrooms across the country. She is a former classroom teacher in a full inclusion setting, and I think today you're really going to enjoy this session because she's really going to give you some ideas and tips on how to maximize those resources you have within your classroom to make the most out of your reading mastery lessons. So without taking any more time away, I'm going to hand it over to Kia Ellis. Kia, it's all yours.
Thank you, Jeff, and welcome everyone to Maximizing Your Ancillary Resources in Reading Mastery. Today we're going to focus in on some resources that you can use to enhance your current reading mastery lessons. We have core lesson connections, which are available for all grade levels in reading mastery. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about some resources that are just available for those primary grades, those learning to read areas. Practice the quotables and blackline seat work masters. Those are just available for kindergarten first grade levels. We'll look at research projects and across the curriculum activities across the curriculum for your 2nd through 5th grade levels of reading mastery. I want to assure you that what you're doing on a daily basis in reading mastery is robust instruction for your students. They're being successful, they're getting high quality explicit instruction, learning how to become better readers. What I'm going to share with you today are resources to enhance what you're already doing. These resources, some of them require some additional minutes, so hopefully you'll get a chance to see which resources you could use in your classroom. But before we begin with those resources, let's take a minute to do a quick poll just of about one of our resources we're about to discuss. Jeff, can you launch our first poll?
Absolutely. Here we go. The first question we have today is to think about your classroom. And this one you can pick all that you want. So think about your classroom and your reading mastery instruction. Are you looking for more comprehension strategies? Are you looking for more writing? Are you looking for more vocabulary practice? Just click the ideas, and again, you can click 1, 2, or 3, however many you want to pick. But please take a moment and pick, what are you looking for more in your reading mastery lessons? Waiting for a few more people to finish up voting. And so right now, Kia, everyone's looking for comprehension strategies. Some people are looking for more writing strategies, and others are looking for vocabulary practice. So, Kia, on to you.
Fantastic. The resource that I'm going to share with you first is Core Lesson Connections, and they actually have more instruction on the very category that you're looking for. We have further instruction on phonemic and phonological awareness, vocabulary, comprehension that customers and participants just mentioned, as well as writing. These particular lessons are additional time. So if you have between 10 to 20 or 30 additional minutes, then you can incorporate core lesson connections. Or if you want to just enhance your vocabulary instruction, you can do just the vocabulary part daily in the core lesson connections. Remember, the main lessons that you're already teaching are the priority. Let me share with you an example of how we use vocabulary instruction in the core lesson connections. I want to reassure you that you are going to be using materials you already have in your room if you're using this resource. In this particular example, during the vocabulary development, we actually offer an instructional routine for students' vocabulary. These words are Tier 2 words, and these words are also supported in what they're already reading in the classroom. In this first grade lesson, it comes straight from their storybook 1 that they're working with. The routine is that we provide a definition for the students. We then give them an example using the word, and then we offer time to discuss and have the students ask questions. This instructional routine is very helpful when introducing new words, and we use this routine to introduce vocabulary words. But we also provide opportunities for students to continue to review words that are being introduced that they're actually having experience with in their storybook in this particular lesson. Let me show you another example. This is a great example of how we review vocabulary words. So in 3rd grade, as students are working with vocabulary words, we're going to actually use a cover, copy, compare chart. This is a fantastic way for students to review words that they've already practiced with and read in their selections. You have a blackline master that you can access in photocopy or access online, and students will cover up the definition. They would then read the word, prefix, or idiom. In this case, it's baggage. Then they will write their definition. After students have written their definition on this cover, copy, compare chart, they then reveal the definition, compare their answer, and then circle whether it's correct, but if not, they have an opportunity to fix it. This is a wonderful way for students to continue to work with those Tier 2 vocabulary words that they are having experience with in their selections. Another way you can use some of the graphic organizers is an idiom map. So in this particular vocabulary review, there is an idiom, could eat like a horse. I think we've probably all used that expression or that idiom in our lives. But we want students to really understand what that means, and this is a great way, especially for your English learners, to really understand what an idiom is by using this idiom map. Students would then record the idiom. They would have to tell me what its literal meaning is, but also the figurative meaning, and then use it in a writing. These vocabulary lessons are designed to enhance vocabulary instruction. They are parallel and relate to exactly what students are working with. In this lesson, they're working with vocabulary words that they are already reviewed and have been reading in their selections. I noticed in the poll that you guys also mentioned that you could use some more instruction in comprehension. In core lesson connections, we teach comprehension strategies. Again, this is to enhance your lesson. The priority is the main lesson. But in this particular example, we're using a story from their storybook 1, Don Painted and Painted. So I want you to notice that we're using what students already have experience with. So you'll see the selections they're reading, Don Painted and Painted, and after they're reading this selection, we're teaching them a comprehension strategy of text to self-connection. This is a great strategy to teach students so that way they can constantly be making connections while they're reading. We provide a sample think aloud for the teacher so that way you're able to give a good model of what a think aloud would look like when you're making a connection to the text for the students. We're using their storybooks to enhance their comprehension strategies. We also use graphic organizers not just for vocabulary, but for also comprehension strategies. This strategy is a during reading strategy. Again, we're using what the students are reading, their textbook B. In this particular example, from 3rd grade, they're reading the Waldo stories. So now they're going to use this graphic organizer to learn about how to use cause and effect for a during reading strategy. We make sure we identify what cause is, what effect is, really have a conversation with the students, but we're utilizing what they're already doing in their selection by reading those Waldo stories. So after students are finished with the Waldo stories, they're using this cause and effect map to further their comprehension. We also use a lot of writing to enhance instruction in the core lesson connections. Here you're looking at a writing where students will be working with a prompt. This particular prompt, they're going to be writing about what they have read in their selection. They use their prompts to make connections to what they've already been reading. This is a great way to enhance your selections by bringing on